Welcome to St. Doom's Deck Tech. This is a black-white mid-range deck that is a combination of Abzan mid-range and black-white tokens. It's basically if those two decks got together, had a love child, and birthed this grindy interactive deck. Now, I broke down this deck the way I kind of like to look at decks. Now, we have 24 lands, and we have a couple interactive lands that I want to point out, but basically this is a two-color mid-range deck, so I have as many multicolor lands as possible, and I have a lot of basics here, 5 total basics to be able to fetch individual basics when I need to, so I can try to keep the mana base as painless as possible. I do run 2 silent clearings to help filter through my deck, the Canopy Cycle lands, and my 3 specialty lands are 2 Field of Ruin and 1 Vault of the Archangel. For those unaware, that is a land where you can pay 4 mana and tap it, and creatures you control have Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn. That is a very powerful card used to beat down aggro and mid-range strategies, especially when you have a lot of token creatures like Lingering Souls, and we'll get to the rest in a bit. So that is the mana base. It is 24 lands, which is a bit greedy in terms of it's got a lot of lands, but I want to be able to consistently activate Vault of the Archangel, and I want to be able to cast my higher end stuff. I want to be able to equip my sword and Batterskull, so I do need a lot of mana late game. Now, early game I have some interaction here. This is my removal suite. I have 4 Fatal Push, 1 Path Exile, and 1 Collective Brutality main. The Path Exile is really just kind of like the 5th Fatal Push that has some upside in terms of it's better against obviously bigger creatures. I lean more on Fatal Push here than Path Exile because this is a mid-range deck at heart, and I really don't want to be ramping and giving my opponents extra resources. My interactive suite is right here. I have 6 discard spells, just like I mentioned before, kind of like the green-black X strategies like Abzan. I do the 4 Inquisition and 2 Thoughtseize. I'm leaning on that split instead of a 3-3 split because my life total does matter. And I want to be able to preserve my life total, so I'm 4 Inquisition, 2 Thoughtseize instead of a typical 3-3 split. Now I have 4 Tidehollow Sculler for even more interaction. This card is really good right now, I think, because there's not too much heavy spot removal. And most of that spot removal is going to be aimed at Dark Confidant or Stoneforge Mystic. Tidehollow, a turn 1 Thoughtseize, a turn 2, or interactive spell, discard. Turn 2 Tidehollow Sculler, turn 3, I'll get to my next card. Liliana of the Veil can spell trouble for any deck trying to accomplish build a hand, get growth, and go for like a combo deck, or trying to stop any sort of big mana deck as well. Liliana pulls double duty here because the +1 is actually not as hurtful in this deck because I run Lingering Souls, so I can always pitch a Lingering Souls. I'm only losing half of a card. My opponent's losing a full card. Her Edict actually doubles up with my spot removal to help deal with individual threats. Now I have Dark Confidant as my creature suite here. Dark Confidant is a full 4 of, Stoneforge Mystic is a full 4 of, and then I clean that out with a Cletus, a Plague Engineer, and Lingering Souls. The Dark Confidant is used to, again, I put as many cards in here, I changed the mana base a little bit, and I've been playing around with that discard suite in a huge attempt to conserve my life total, so Dark Confidant I don't have to worry about Dark Confidant as much. Stoneforge Mystic is used to grab one of my 2 equipments and then flash it into play. She's not as powerful late game if I've already drawn them, but still she is a body, and hopefully I'm churning through cards faster than my opponent. Cletus is a great threat, another reason why I'm on the 4 Fatal Push instead of having more Path Exiles, because whenever one of my opponent's creatures dies, I get a free 2/2 zombie. It doesn't work when they're exiled. Cletus and Liliana the Veil also work nicely together because she can sacrifice opponent's creatures and then I get the free zombie out of it. Notably, Cletus has life gain, which works pretty well with all the damage I'm taking off of Dark Confidant, my Thoughtseizes, and maybe even my Silent Clearings. Lingering Souls is used to flood the board, go wide, and they equip my equipment really well. So they can kind of protect me, and then when I'm ready to turn the corner with a Sword of Fire and Ice or a Batterskull, they can go flying damage upstairs. Batterskull obviously works with Stoneforge Mystic. If you're watching this video, you already know it's a 4/4, a 2-mana 4/4 lifelink vigilance. Sword of Fire and Ice, I chose this sword over the others because, again, I want to be able to draw as many cards as possible, and I want to be able to pick apart small creatures from my opponents. My sideboard is built to, it's not built to beat anything like Tron, so I wouldn't I would definitely add more. I would definitely running Fulminator Mage instead of Damping Spheres to beat combat Tron. I think it's probably just a better option. I do have two combos, two Damping Spheres to deal with combo. This is also hits Tron, also hits Amulet Titan. Two Stony Silence to hit Urza, Whir, and Hardened Scales. Two Rest in Peace and two Surgical. I have a split here because I'm not really sure which is better. I think Rest in Peace is easier to play around, but it's also just a more powerful effect. I do like having the full four Graveyard Hate options. Anguish Unmaking is a catch-all. I have a hard time dealing with enchantments, so I want to be able to deal with them. I just can't beat, for example, certain enchantments, maybe like a Worship or something. Plague Engineer, I really want to beat up on small creatures because all my spot removals for individual threats. So if someone goes wide, like an opponent is doing the exact same thing I'm doing, Plague Engineer can stop them in their tracks. So I'm running two. Languish is really good because it's a board wipe that sometimes doesn't kill my threats. If I equipped a Lingering Souls without a Batter Skull, for example, Languish will not kill my creature because it's -4/-4. And then I'm running one more spot removal side to help deal with, again, a big threat like a Primetime Worm Coil or something like that. So that's my deck tech. Hope you liked it. Hopefully I do well. See you in the next one.